Hello, dear Capricorn. I'm Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your August 2021 horoscope. And we're going to get right to it. This is for your Capricorn sun, moon, or rising sign. We start the first week of August with the sun and Mercury canoodling in Leo. Mars and Venus are in Virgo. These are activating your 8th and 9th houses. And we also have the Lionsgate portal and new moon in Leo on August 8th. So these first 8 days are going to be quite powerful with your 8th and 9th houses. And what is going to be activated is going to be this deeper, more intimate need and desire to have what you want, to form these strong bonds with maybe yourself, maybe who you partner with, as well as your truths, your belief systems, your definition of God, whatever it might be, and then being able to refine them. Do watch that you don't go into too much judgment. You're going to probably be activated to share your opinions, your ideas, to make sure that you communicate authentically. And you want to make sure that you line up with the people or the person that also reflects those kinds of values to you. And what you may find is that as you start to get clearer and clearer about what you need to be the best version of yourself, you're going to share this with anybody that will listen, but more so with your more intimate people in your life and the things that you are intimately connected to. It could be a spiritual belief system that just makes you who you are. And you're like, this is who I am, and this is how I want to be. And if you line up with me, great. And if you don't, doesn't matter. But not everybody is going to think the way that you do. Not everybody's going to believe the way that you do. That doesn't mean that they're bad. It's just they're not your partner, which is fine. I would also say that you may find, especially with Leo sitting here, that you want to kind of stand out in your intimate relationships, and finding a way in which you communicate that has a sense of heart-centeredness is going to be the key. You may also find yourself elevated to a level of leadership amongst the intimate groups that you belong to, or the intimate relationships that you have. And I keep using that word intimacy because we're talking about 8th house. Intimacy doesn't always mean sex. That is part of it. But I really use the expression of sex in the 5th house. 8th house is more about, I know that we're unified because we have this intimacy. I see you and I want to be seen. And I think that's the other theme for the first part of August, is that you really want to be seen by those that you consider to be your partner. And again, it's not just romance. It can also be business partner. It can be the clientele that you partner with, because anybody knows that sales is all about relationship. It's not just about the bottom line. And so this comes back to deepening your relationships, those that you really care about. If you are a single Capricorn and you're looking for love, then I would offer, keep nurturing that intimacy inside of yourself, being that partner for yourself, deepening who you are under your own inner authority. Who's your, I was going to say, who's your daddy? That's not what I'm trying to say. There's my humor. And I know you Capricorns can appreciate that one. What I'm trying to say is that you are going to be looking at who your authority is. And hopefully it's you checking in with you when it comes to your true self. More, you may be asking yourself, why do I do what I do? And I do it because I want great meaning. With Mars and Venus in this 9th house activating the Virgo energy, you're going to be looking at really saying, okay, I believe in what I believe in because, and you make your list, and then you may be attracting to you opportunities that let you share it, that let you give and receive from others in a larger scale. And you may be coming together with a group of people or within your own community. And the only reason I bring up community and people is because we don't live in a vacuum. Most of us don't anyways. We're getting back into life and we're getting back into, socializing and connecting. So again, you may be pulled in to do a little bit of intimate work and then ready to share it on a global scale, on a wider scale. You may be connecting with others from all over the place, people traveling more. And I would say that this also may turn your attention towards some travel with that ninth house being activated. Now, you may work in like the travel industry, you may have some teaching opportunities, some chances to be able to share and that sort of thing. And with Mars and Venus here, you're going to be looking at ways in which you can perfect your belief system, or you can perfect your truth, or you can perfect the way. And I use that word perfect very loosely here because what is perfection? But you may be refining it and really taking your time going, here's one little piece that just isn't right. Let me fix that. So you may be in a fix-it mode. Again, I'm going to point back to be careful that you don't go into judgment and say, I'm fixing it for everybody else, because everybody else has their own truth and their own way of checking in with their inner authority. Now, that's the way that you can use it, is to lead people back to their truth. And you may do this through asking a lot of questions. This allows you to get more intimate. As they say, it's not about it's not about having the right answers. It's about asking the right questions. And that's something else that I sense you'll probably start doing a lot more of. Now, this new moon in Leo on August 8th, activating this 8th house, Lionsgate portal, it will most likely bring in some wonderful healing. It can give you an opportunity to set intentions of how can you really get more vulnerable, more authentic, more intimate in those relationships and those situations that have the most meaning to you. And I'm going to point to the relationship piece more so because we've got Venus opposing Neptune at this time. And so she's going to be actively saying, okay, here you are, you have this idea, this dream, if you will, that wants to be shared, that wants to come to life. And how can you do it? You're best when you work with others. And how do you build trust? The new moon is going to activate a lot of trust and intimacy issues, vulnerability, being authentic. And in doing so, you take a little risk. Without risk, there's no reward. And what this new moon can do is it can set you apart as a leader in being able to say, here I am, I'm scared, I'm feeling a little, tentative, because Capricorn, let's admit it, you do suffer from a little bit of that fearful mode, like most humans, but Capricorn has a tendency to kind of overdo it at times, to hold yourself back from really taking that action because you're worried about making the wrong decision. And so here's this Lionsgate portal inviting you to, one, check in, pause, get the download psychically, third eye, healing, heart-centered, and then let your heart shine. Let yourself be vulnerable. Mercury enters Virgo August 11th. So shortly after this, in your ninth house, giving you a chance to share your wisdom, to share what you've learned, to share with others who truly get you. And you can do it in a way that makes sense, that's organized, that feels really succinct with what you've worked through. I will say this new moon has some positivity to it because it's in Leo and it's the sun and it's serious and it's all beautiful. But it's also, you've got to move through that gateway of fear and doubt, and then as you walk through those lessons, as you walk through the understanding and the vulnerability, you get to share it with others. And what it does is it invites others to join you. Because Venus moves into Libra on August 16th in your 10th house, you're going to find that the more authentic, the more vulnerable you are, the more you connect with others on a real basis, here comes Venus drawing others to you and saying, yes, I resonate with that. Yes, I totally want to partner with you, or I want to get on board with whatever you're selling, or I want to, join forces, if you will, and collaborate. And I want to make sure that I want to help you achieve your goals. That's what Venus in Libra is going to hopefully do for you towards the second half of August. So the first part of August is that deeper self-work, and the second half of August is going to be where you can confidently stand out from the crowd and say, I am who I am, and I'm good at what I do because of the people that are standing next to me, because of those people who have supported me, who have leaned in and lifted me up, because I'm also doing the same. and I'm raising my hand and I'm asking for help. I know, Capricorn, you're more than capable. But as they say, we can do everything on our own, but it's so much more fun when you have a partner to do it with. That's also another thing for August. So if you are looking for partnership, this is a great month for it. All you have to do is be open-hearted and be vulnerable. If you're bonded and you're in a relationship, this is a time for you and your partner to get more intimate with each other, to get more real with each other, to tackle some of those tougher conversations that maybe you wasn't capable of, or wasn't ready, or wasn't time to tackle. Now you can. Mercury and Mars will canoodle on August 19th, giving you really sharp precision and clarity about what you believe, about what gives you meaning, and then being able to share it with others. August 22nd, Aquarius full moon. You're going to be feeling it leading up to this. It's our second full moon in Aquarius. We had one back in July that set a theme. Here comes this Aquarius full moon, again with Mars trining Uranus, activating your second and eighth house. This is going to either bring in some new income, or it may have some income fading and more income showing up. It also has to do with joint resources. Some of you may receive an inheritance. Some of you may receive some sort of bonus or benefit during this time. And some of you may be walking away completely from a relationship that no longer serves, maybe because you've paid off that debt, maybe because there is something here that you were vulnerable, you were intimate, and they just couldn't meet you there. That's a very small piece of it for you Capricorn, but that is possible. I would say the bigger theme here has more to do with your income and with who you partner with on a deeper level, that it can actually bring to light maybe some true feelings. Maybe because you are vulnerable, they become vulnerable as well, and it bonds you that much deeper. Aquarius full moons are friendly moons. Aquarius is a very friendly sign. But with this Mars trine Uranus, it could bring in some sudden news that may not feel great, or it could feel really good, and you have to go, oh my God, I didn't expect that. Okay, what do I do with it now? Well, with the sun moves into Virgo on August 23rd, so the day after, in your ninth house, then you can take whatever news shows up, whatever situation appears, and you can say, okay, let me apply for that new job. Let me roll up my sleeves and get to work here about how I want to organize my life, get my resume together, get out there. Or maybe it's okay, I've just inherited something. And yes, we know that a loss tends to happen when there's an inheritance. So there's time for grieving, but I need to organize the funeral, and I need to organize the situation, but not to go too morbid on that. This also could be a time where you inherit maybe a project. Maybe you inherit somebody who is within authority left, and you have to take their job. And so now you got to roll up your sleeves, and you got to organize it, and you got to bring in the right team and the right people. So that's another way that the second half of August could show up for you. And when Mercury enters Libra at the end of the month on the 30th in your 10th house, this gives you further activation. And I would say this is a more dominant theme, is that you get to collaborate, you get to bring your team together, and you get to do what you do really well, and that people will want to join you, and that there's great diplomacy, and that you're seen as somebody who has their shit together, even if it didn't seem like it at first. But it was because you said, hey, I need help, that they all said, I want to do this with you, because it's so much fun, because they trust you, because you were real and you were vulnerable. Okay, Capricorn, I really hope that this helps just a little bit. Of course, check in. I want to hear how it's going. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Find me at jamiedawn.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.